Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Bloodshed Restorations. This is something a little bit different to normal. It's still along the lines of the Suzuki Carry or the Lemon, Project Lemon. I'm going to be talking about security today, simply because I'm starting to read that a lot of these carries and similar small microvans are starting to get stolen, and this is starting to be a bit of a concern for me. They're being shipped abroad apparently, and also when something like this does start to become a little bit more rare or a little bit thin on the ground, parts also start drying up, so people will steal them just for the parts alone, which in this case is potentially a possibility. So yes, I will show you what I've got in mind. I already have a Stop Lock Pro fitted. The reason I like this steering lock is simply because it's got two prongs that fit over one of the arms of the steering wheel. You can go through a steering wheel with a hacksaw in next to no time. I've seen it on videos and the like. So in this case, someone would have to go through twice, which would mean it's a little bit better than a normal standard one that we just fit on there. Hacksaw through, bend it, off it comes. So that's what I've got in place at the moment, but I'll show you what else I've got in mind. This is roughly what I've got in mind. This is old scrap metal I've got. I would say it's probably around about 5mm thick, very solid, very tough, and I've got a lock here, and the idea is I will insert a picture of what I'm going to make. I'm going to make a brake pedal or clutch pedal lock, so I will insert that somewhere about now. Right, what I've done here is I've taken the two metal bars, or the pieces of metal that I'm using. I've also found this wonderful piece of square section, and that will be acting as the bridge between the two to give them the gap, so that the gap will then slide over the brake pedal arm. So what I'm going to do is I've squared them up, clamped them up, and that is the angle I'm going to go for. I'm going to fit that like that, simply because the angle of the brake pedal, this should mean it'll fit more comfortably. It should mean as well that there's going to be less movement in the actual lock itself. I've marked it off at that level, which was the initial level I worked at the right angle. I'm going to cut slightly higher just to give myself a bit of room, but I'm also going to use these two remaining pieces to make feet at a right angle, so that will then sit like so, with the feet coming out either side, and that should pretty much be solid. Shouldn't be too much movement in it. Fingers crossed. So I'll go and get that cut, and then we'll see how we go from there. Right, that's them all cut to size, double checked everything, triple checked it, and it all seems to fit okay. So the next thing will be to clean all the surfaces up, so that when I weld, and I do use the term weld in the loosest possible meaning, seeing as I'm only an amateur welder and stick welder as well at that. Yeah, once I'll do that, I'll tack weld this in place, go back, check it again, and then we'll see about getting that one cut up to size as well. So yep, I shall shut up and I shall get sanding. There we go, time to tack weld. Wasn't actually time to weld at all. Forgot to mention, with this bar here, I'm chamfering the edges in on both sides. So that's obviously the bottom, that's the top. Reason being is when they're stuck together, it'll just give a nice little gap so the weld can get in there and give better penetration, hopefully. Okay, so it's all been welded together. I really won't show you that side. I'll show you that side because the weld's slightly better. So what I'm going to do now is weld the two plates together. I hope you get a better idea about what I'm jabbering on about with this. That will then slide over the arm of the brake pedal, and just below the arm the padlock will go straight through and lock that way, and the feet will obviously fit out either side, so there'll be the gap there, and that's it. So I will go and get that welded up. I'll also get the externals cleaned out. I'm going to sand down the internals as well, ready for paint, and hopefully we're not too far off being finished. And just in case you're wondering who that little fellow is, I also dabble in a little bit of horse shoe art as well. This one I'm making for the wife. She wanted a small frog. She's got a big frog, now she's got a small frog to go next to the pond. Brilliant. I hope this makes a little bit more sense and is a bit more obvious. So the main body fits over the brake like so. There'll be feet attached on the bottom, and this is a 9mm shaft lock. So I'll drill holes going all the way from there all the way through underneath the arm. That will then lock onto that, which means that's going nowhere. Potentially it could work on the clutch as well. Yep, perfect as well. Might be even better on the clutch, because if you forget that it's on there, first thing you're going to do is depress the clutch. Whereas if you forget it's on there and it's on the brake, the next thing you know, when you need the brake, you've got no brakes. So yeah, I'll think about that. Maybe I'll make two, never know. But yeah, I will go and finish that off and keep you updated. As you can see, ignoring all the crap welding, it fits the clutch, and it also fits the brake nicely. What I'm going to do is mark it where I'm going to put it, or put the hole, bearing in mind it's a 9mm hole and I've got to have clearance. I'll put it there for the clutch, so that when that's down that should be fine. We'll just test it against the brake as well, and that looks as though that will be fine as well. There's a bit of movement forward and back, so plenty of room there. So what I'll do is I'll fire up the pillar drill. We'll get that drilled out to probably about 10mm, so that at least it's an easy fix, and then it should be ready for paint. Right, here's the almost finished article. I'm really pleased with it. It's solid. It might not look the prettiest, It will need to be painted up, which I'll do in a bit, and then I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to go for a bright yellow, bright orange, or bright red, something like that, just so that I know it's there. Also, what I'm probably going to do is do what I've done before, is get a small piece of tubing, something like that, so that when this is in place, the tubing goes over the end of the ignition key, so that you can take that out and you can't put the key in the ignition. And then you just swap it over so that when the lock's off, this has the tube on it, so that when you then go to do likewise, put this back on, you take the tube off this and put it onto the ignition key, so that you can't start the vehicle up and you know that it's there. So it's a simple but effective way. So yeah, I'll shut up and I'll go and get this painted up and see what it looks like. Here's a finished article, which I'm very pleased with. It's solid, and I have actually put a little bit of body filler on it just to mask up some of those hideous welds that look like pigeon crap. So yeah, it'll do the job. It'll need a couple more days really for the paint to harden off properly. So yeah, I can put it into use as from now. Hope this has been useful, not just to Suzuki Carry owners, but anyone else who's looking for a similar sort of solution. The ones on eBay, Amazon, etc. at $9.99, I really don't believe they're up to the job. The lock alone for this one cost me £16, so and the rest of it cost me zero, apart from a few welding rods and a bit of time. If you've liked this video, please like it. If you want to see more sorts of bits and pieces of Suzuki Carries, or even old tools being repaired, please subscribe. It'll help the channel out very much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.